Since assumption of office. Today, we're in Kuje Area Council. Yesterday, Mr. President, this road was awarded in February 4th, 2022. February 4th, 2022. I know that you came to office 29th of May, 2023. And we as ministers were appointed in August 2023. Yesterday, I will recall that after our appointment, you directed all the ministers to make sure that, particularly the FCT, to make sure that we relate and consult, interface with stakeholders in the various area councils. I do know at that time there was some bit of insecurity in the FCT as we came on board. Your Excellency, it may interest you to note that we had to visit all the 6 area councils to dialogue and interface with traditional rulers, political leaders, other stakeholders in each of the area councils. Today, we have seen this road as beautiful, but we may not value this road except we know how it was. If you permit, I don't know whether the Executive Secretary is prepared, just 1 minute to show you this road where we are today. We forget, I'm sure people of Kuje, all of us who have something here, we forget how this road was. We may think, oh, it's an ordinary road. Anybody can do it. Any administration can do it. If it were so, they would have done it. This one road that I never dreamt of, that today will come and commission it. It was a very, very difficult road. Very, very difficult road. In fact, it became a political road. So when we came to Kuje to interact with the stakeholders, the traditional rulers led by the Emir of Kuje did say 2 things. He requested 2 things. One, there's what we call the garage junction. That garage junction going towards Gwagwalada was not passable at all. And again, there was no contractor on this road, even though the contract was awarded in February 4th, 2022, at the cost of over 54 billion naira. The ES has said it's about 8.6 kilometers. So the traditional rulers said, look, if you can do that for us, and also call the contractor back to come and continue with the construction of this road. Yesterday, I will tell you, when we made that promise, in my mind, I did say, how are we going to achieve this? Where will the money come from? It was very difficult, Your Excellency. And then what we did to assure them that this Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration feels for the people, and that's why we have what we call renewed hope agenda. What is renewed hope after all? Hopes have been lost. I don't think the people of Kuje ever believe that they will ever interface with government, that they will ever see development come to Kuje. So their hopes were all gone. There was nothing like all hope again. But to the glory of God, with the president and your humble self coming into power, you've given back the Kuje people the hope that they have lost. So, Your Excellency, what we did in that first 6 months in office was to dualize the garage junction to about 4 or 5 kilometers to their farm, so we will be able to use and go to farm. But how do you come into Kuje? Even if you take Gwagwalada, you stop somewhere, you can't pass. The road was not in existence. it was a death trap. It was here for kidnappers and hooligans trying to molest, harass citizens and residents of Kuje. As I speak to you, they also requested dualization of Kuje to Gwagwalada. Your Excellency, knowing fully well that God is with this administration and God will never disappoint us, we also committed ourselves to also dualize Kuje to Gwagwalada. Your Excellency, may interest you, today I feel so happy. If there's anything that makes me very happy today is that we are commissioning this particular road. I thank the management, the managing director of Arab Contractors. Persistently, I will call him, he will tell me he's in Egypt on medical condition. As MD, there's nothing like being in Egypt, come back. We have good hospitals, we can take care of you here. Each time he comes to see me, he will say, look, Minister, each time you call us, my BP will go high. I said, so also, when he requests for money, my BP will also go high. And I said,
today, Bola tomorrow, 2027, now here we go first.
So, he said, look, I can promise you, as at that time, he was doing the Wuye interchange and all the roads in Wuye. We thank God, Mr. President commissioned that road last year during the second year anniversary. So I continue pestering him. He will ask me, we are looking for money. I said, okay. Some of us who are prayer warriors, we have to pray. I told my Honorable Minister of FCT, each time you travel to Mecca, put this particular road as one of your requests. God should help us to get funds to make sure that we give to the contractors so that we will be able to finish this road. And from morning till night, even I don't used to fast before. I started fasting because of this particular road. And I thank God, God has answered our prayers. So,
Your name is Yahweh. You are the miracle working God. Your name is Yahweh.
So, today we are here. I thank the Arab contractors. And I thank the ES and his team. Working with us is very difficult. You know that we want the best. And you know, we want you to meet up the time you are giving to us. If you have not come to this road before for inspection, at least we have been here more than 15 times to make sure that this road is completed. Sir, I'm happy, very happy to see that this road is completed. And I know you are coming back here sometimes first week of July to commission also from Kuje to Gwagwalada. Your Excellency, what you have done, what the administration has done for the satellite towns, history will be on your side. And I want to say to anybody, when you say, where is government? Tell them Kuje Road is what? Government. When you ask, when you ask, where is the government? Say Kuje Gwagwalada is what? Government. This is government we are talking about. This is government we are seeing providing the basic infrastructure. As I was coming with the Minister of State Petroleum, he didn't tell me directly. He said he has an interest here. I said, what kind of interest? He said, general interest. He said, look, that the coordinator of his interest said, because of this road, prices have gone up. I said, so where is our own commission? Where is the commission for this administration for what they have done? I don't think there's anybody who is a human being living on earth no matter whether you like us or not, whether you like this administration or not, which you don't have any choice though to like us, seeing this, Yes, Excellency, don't just turn here and go back. Yes, Excellency, I plead with you. You will only enjoy this road when you drive to the end and turn back. You go home. You will tell your wife, my sister, my wife, look, I am proud of associating yourself, and you are proud of being part of this administration. You can go home and sleep with your two eyes closed. Let the doubting Thomases who have properties here go and see now all the lands they have cleared. You just said they should pay us small ground rent and other fees, so that what the ES has said, we can take this road down to Nasarawa and connect to other areas. We are very happy, Honorable Minister of State and myself and the entire FCT, to associate with you at this time that history is being made. We are changing the directive in the development of this city called Abuja. Nobody will want to live now in the city. From Kuje here down to the city, how many minutes? But before, to take you 1.5 hours, 2 hours to come to the center, city center. But see what the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and your humble self have done. God will continue to bless you people. Give you the continued strength and wisdom.
We are not just commissioning a road. We are keeping a promise. 3 years ago, we took an oath to serve you. We pledged to end the era of abandoned projects. Today, FCT Highway 105 stands as proof that we keep our word. And let me be very clear. The present administration does not inherit problems to abandon them. We inherit challenges to solve them. To appreciate the significance of this moment, we must recall why we started. This road was awarded in 2022, but little progress was made. It became a symbol of frustration, gridlock for businesses, dust in the dry season and mud in the rains. Therefore, when I appointed the Honorable Minister of the FCT, Barrister Nyosem Wike, I did so because he delivers. While there were delays, we brought political will. While there were obstructions, we paid compensation because we respect the law and value progress. Beyond the concrete and asphalt, this project speaks to a larger vision. The renewed hope agenda is not just for the city center. True democracy must be felt at the grassroots. It must be felt in Kuje, and the commuter coming from or going to Kuje must feel it. Every Nigerian must feel it. This 6-lane dual carriageway we are commissioning today is indeed a game changer. You no longer have to endure the suffocating bottleneck that once characterized the Kuje Airport Road axis and the lost man hours. Now we are giving you your time back, and time is money, and we are putting that time back in your pocket. More importantly, we are opening up our satellite towns. Abuja cannot grow if only the city center thrives. With this road, we decongest the city, lift property values, attract investment, and help our farmers move their produce to markets without delay. This is how you build an economy from the bottom up. To the people of Kuje, thank you for your patience during the construction. Thank you for believing that change was possible. In the same vein, I commend Arab contractors. You have delivered this road to international standards. And to the FCT Minister, Barrister Nyosem Wike, you have proven once again that when we give a task to a performer, the results speak for themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, let me use this opportunity to reassure the good citizens of this country that will not stop here. Across Nigeria, from the coast to the Sahel, we are laying the foundation for lasting prosperity. We are building the roads, the railways, and the institutions that will sustain generations to come. However, the government cannot do it alone. Development is a partnership. To sustain this progress, I urge every resident, business owner, and developer, pay your taxes, clear your ground rents and land peace. Your civic duty gives us the resources to replicate this success in every satellite town. I conclude by appealing directly to our traditional rulers, community leaders, and the youth of Kuje. This road is yours. Guard it. Protect the street lights, the drainage, the walkways. Do not allow vandalism. Do not turn it into an illegal market or refuse dump. If you see anything or anyone destroying it, report them. Protect what we have built, and it will serve your children for decades to come. On this note, and with gratitude to Almighty God, it is my singular honor and privilege, on behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, to commission FCT Highway 105, the Airport Expressway to Kuje Township Junction, for the service of our people and for the good of humanity. Thank you all, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
In the early hours of May 29, 2023, a new chapter in Nigeria's political journey began as Bola Ahmed Tinubu took the oath of office as the 16th President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. After decades in politics and a defining role in modern party building, he assumed leadership at a time when the nation faced serious challenges: economic pressure, rising debt, persistent insecurity, and a population eager for change. Almost immediately, Tinubu signaled that his presidency would not avoid difficult decisions. In his inaugural address, he announced the end of Nigeria's long-standing fuel subsidy, a policy that had consumed billions of dollars for decades. Economists had long argued that the subsidy distorted the economy and drained government finances. With its sudden removal, petrol prices surged, transport costs rose, and inflationary pressures intensified, sparking widespread public debate. To supporters, the decision represented political courage and a necessary step toward fiscal discipline. To critics, the abrupt removal created economic shock for millions of Nigerians already struggling with the cost of living. Transport fares rose, food prices climbed, and household budgets grew tighter. Soon after, the administration introduced another major reform by unifying Nigeria's multiple foreign exchange windows, a system long criticized for encouraging arbitrage and discouraging investment. The policy allowed the naira to trade more freely, but the immediate result was a sharp depreciation of the currency, higher import costs, and rising inflation. In markets across Lagos, Kano, and Port Harcourt, traders struggled with shrinking margins, while ordinary citizens faced the daily reality of higher food and transportation costs. Yet, many economists and financial institutions viewed the reforms as long overdue steps towards correcting structural weaknesses in Nigeria's economy. To cushion the impact, the government introduced social intervention programs, including cash transfers for vulnerable households, a student loan scheme, and efforts to stabilize food supply. The administration also promoted compressed natural gas as a cheaper transportation alternative. Infrastructure development remained central to the government strategy. Road construction, rail modernization, and energy projects continued across the country as policymakers sought to address Nigeria's massive infrastructure deficit and support economic growth. At the same time, the government faced the difficult task of balancing development spending with debt obligations in an economy still heavily dependent on oil. Efforts intensified to combat oil theft in the Niger Delta and restore production levels, while the development of a large private refinery in Lagos was seen as a potential turning point for local fuel supply. Security remained a major test for the administration, with threats ranging from insurgency in the northeast to banditry in the northwest and tensions in the southeast. Military operations continued alongside attempts to improve intelligence and regional cooperation. In regional diplomacy, Tinubu also assumed a prominent role, taking a firm stance against unconstitutional changes of government in West Africa and seeking to maintain Nigeria's position as a stabilizing force in the region. Yet, the true measure of any administration lies in the voice of its people. Across Nigeria, public opinion remains divided. Supporters argue that the government inherited deep structural problems and that difficult reforms are necessary for long-term stability. Critics counter that the speed of economic hardship has outpaced relief measures. As the administration moves forward, key priorities remain clear: improving electricity supply, strengthening agriculture and manufacturing, reducing import dependence, and improving security. In the end, the story of the Tinubu administration is still unfolding. It is a story of bold decisions, heated debates, and the resilience of a nation seeking a path towards stability and prosperity. The question that remains is whether the reforms of today will ultimately deliver on the promise that has long driven Nigeria's democratic aspiration. A future where opportunity, stability, and prosperity are shared by all.
Well, I am Sir Olawale Okuni. I am the convener of the June 12 pro-democracy movement and the Secretary General of the conveners of this national dialogue on June Democracy Day. The patriots, eminent patriots of Nigeria, Secretary General of eminent patriots of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, sir. Please talk to us about the essence of this gathering today, June 12.
Well, the essence is for us to review our democratic journey, particularly the democratic rule that is ongoing, and see how we can consolidate it, and see what is missing and what we need to do as a people, and come in form of a dialogue, bring ideas together, and then help governance and government. That is what we are trying to do. The essence, when we say we celebrate this, is to also dig deep into our democratic journey, and then see what is missing, the challenges, and so on and so forth, and see what we can do to better the present democratic experience we have. That is the essence. So we gather today to dialogue from across the country to look at democracy, what is failing, especially what we have identified as lack of democratic constitution in our democracy. We are going to look deep and see how we can bring about a new democratic constitution for Nigeria. Well, of course, from the beginning, we made an error, but, well, that was as a result of the rush that was precipitated by the fact that people in the 90s or 1998 wanted the military to leave. And therefore, we missed the point of having to put together a people's constitution. And so we put in place in 1999 a military decree instead of a people's constitution that is supposed to precede our democratic experiment. But now we have to correct that. Except we correct that, we are going nowhere. We will be a democracy in military gap, and that will not help us. That will only enable corruption and incompetence and so on and so forth. You can't blame anybody in Nigeria who is ruling. because it's working on a structure and system that is programmed and designed to fail. Nothing can be put on the present democratic foundation you have in Nigeria, the constitutional foundation you have in Nigeria. It will not work. Bring Angel Gabriel, bring any angel to Nigeria to run Nigeria the way it is constitutionally structured. It will not work because the aspiration and expectation of the people will be different from what exists as system. And so they are working against each other. When the system works against the aspiration and expectation of the people, then it's failure that you have. What you will have is humongous corruption, which you are having. You are having a situation in a democracy where one man can have absolute power, and that is the problem. It's a major problem in our democratic experience. When one man still have absolute authority. Democracy is supposed to be a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But that will not exist with the military constitution, which is also a unitary constitution that you run in Nigeria. There can never be development. I stand to be challenged. Therefore, we must be concerted effort to build the advocacy and momentum for us to change it democratically, inclusively, and make sure that government has something to work with that can prosper governance. Thank you. Well, we will make, with what we are doing, if we are resilient, if we do not faint, some of us, well, we will make headway. We are not so much made because people who have seized and captured power don't want to commit political suicide. But the people, we have to compel them by their mobilization to do the right thing. And the right thing is for all of us, including those in power and those outside power. Because those in power today face the humongous insecurity in the country. They also have to pay ransom. They are being promoted here and there, even their constituents. They can't even go to their constituents because the poverty is very, very abject. And so it's not working for anybody. So why we are meeting today is to try and facilitate or actualize a constitutional democracy that works for all in Nigeria. And that will be looked at the National Constitutional Summit that will be holding from July 15. That is convened by the eminent patriots in conjunction with the National Political Summit Group. And that we hold in Abuja Transcorp Hilton. And that is our expectation. That is what we are looking up to for now. So we think we will make headway. The present president here, I think, should be disposed, given his background, should be disposed to making headway with a democratic constitution for Nigeria.
Well, I think it's beyond dispute that our constitution, as presently constituted, does not reflect the popular will, partly because of the way it was established by the military, who did not subject the outcome to a referendum of the Nigerian people. So what we have is a military really imposed constitution, and that is partly the problem we are facing as a country. So the way forward is to return to a people's-oriented constitution, is to inaugurate a constitution that will truly reflect the will of the Nigerian people. And how do you achieve that? You achieve that if you answer two major questions. Nigeria is a highly diversified country, blessed and highly diversified with several nationalities, several ethnicities, several religious beliefs, and a plurality of political views, highly diversified. So you have to answer two major questions. And those questions have been raised by eminent people in the past, and we will continue to gloss over it. And as I will return to those questions, we will not be able to get out of the woods. The first question is, do we truly want to live together as a people? We shouldn't assume this. We should subject this question to a referendum. Do we want to live together as people in a diversified, united Nigeria? We need to answer that question in a referendum. The second question will be, If we agree, assuming we agree that we want to live together, the question would then be under what terms? We must define the terms of our existence together as a people. It's not enough for some people to just assume that this is what is good for Nigerians. Nigerians themselves must answer the question, the terms. So that can only arise if you collate views of a cross-section of Nigerians, no matter their status, their standing, their position in society, to have a truly autochthonous Nigerian constitution. Those two questions must be answered. And because we refuse to answer those questions, what we see today is largely a democracy without democrats. It's a democracy, cash and carry democracy, where money is heavily monetized. Where the political space is heavily monetized, and that except you have a deep pocket, you are unlikely to be able to make an impact. Secondly, we have a democracy of anointing, except we are anointed by one so-called godfather or powerful interest groups. You are not, no matter the ideas in your brain, the resources you are bringing to the table, if you are not anointed, you are also not likely to. And then we also have again a culture of kill and go democracy. Kill and go democracy. There's a lot of violence unleashed on the polity in the name of electioneering and elections. People are randomly displaced, randomly, eliminated, and intimidated, coerced into taking positions. This is kill and go democracy. None of these represent true democracy, which is defined by participatory democracy, where everybody freely expresses their will, devoid of intimidation, devoid of coercion, devoid of any inducement. And that is when so again, we are telling a lie in saying that we are running a democratic government. We are not running this is a civilian government. And you see all kinds of interest groups coming together, not necessarily because they want to respond to popular will, but because they want to respond to vested interest.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Definitely what we are seeing today is that after that historic election several years back, we are still here to get it right. We still have a long way to go. But by and large, it's a reflection of who we are. Because those who are running the country, they are from among us. They are not an alien. So, and you see nowadays, it's very different for